Ew. Oh man, look at that. He's wearing his hat.
Just writing some notes down from a ball test I just came from. I don't want anybody to steal my brain waves.
Oh man. That's
Yeah.
good. Good thinking.
Yeah, because you know how that is. They got things.
Nothing is more encrypted than just writing notes on a piece of paper.
That's right.
Unless the guy repairing the AC or repairing whatever.
He might show up today. No, I don't think so. Anyway, I had to protect
steals
my
all your
brain.
notes.
Had to protect my brain waves
That's
from
good.
being stolen working on the new project.
Whoa. That's exciting.
It
How
is.
often do you test bowling balls? Is it a weekly thing?
No, it's let's see. So we're in, I think we're in March, the March balls already.
Oh, I was like, wait, we're in October. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so I think we tested the March balls today. I think it was.
You're pretty far behind then.
I don't think so. I think we're okay. But you know, we've tested now 2 weeks apart, 3 times in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to help manufacturing get ahead, but sometimes it's a little crazy on us because, you know, you got to have all your work done, and then here comes another
shows
ball.
Up. We need to know by end of the week.
Yeah, it showed up on
Tuesday.
Thursday of last week, and they said to me yesterday, "Did you throw those balls yet?" And I'm like, you know, Friday is when I brought them up to the shop. They drilled them on Monday. You know, I bowl league early on Tuesday, so I'm not driving all the way up to Bernie, which is about 35-40 minute drive in the afternoon, then have to hustle over to league. I like to get to league early so I can have something to eat. And we have a
put in your AirPods and ignore.
No, actually, we have been having a crowd at the table every week.
Oh,
yeah, they sit and talk. It's fun. It's with the guys that I like.
Caleb says you got to wipe your camera. It's all blurry. I think he's just. I think he was hotboxing his office there, so it just looks like fog.
Is it really?
I don't know.
Right.
I think it might just be your face.
No, I don't know if the camera. I'm not screwing with it. So
no, don't mess with it.
No, I'll clean it after we're done. I move that camera. Who knows where it's going to end up? You know. So what's happening?
Yeah, it could be pointing at the ceiling if he tries to do that. Today,
it will be.
He had an epiphany today. He's like, why does my camera keep moving? I'm like, I don't know. You got rodents? And he's like, no. He's like, every time I bring the mic back over, the cord touches the tripod for the camera and it messes it up.
Right. That's what happened.
So, yeah. And you should just duct tape it down.
But I use Joe DiMaggio's hat as the guide.
As the reference?
Yes, it is. If the top of the screen is at the top of his hat, I'm good.
If I ever come to visit, I'm going to put him up.
It's like if you move Joe, if Joe moves, I'm done. By the way.
Yeah, the show's over.
The show's over. But you got
to like the fact that it's going to be from you from here. You're going to be doing the show.
That's how I line up on the lanes.
I know. You're going to start looking like the dude from Home Improvement, like because the camera's going to be pointed just to the top of your eyes.
Oh, yeah. What was the guy's name?
Wilson.
We just like from here.
Hey, this is an important question I want to address right away.
Yeah, what is it?
Who are the Yankees playing in the first round?
They're playing golf. They're playing golf against the Cardinals.
Yeah, they're playing at a nice resort in Cancun right now. I'm sure.
And the Mets, by the way, who fired a manager who's a good manager.
Yeah. He just couldn't manage to win many games this year.
If you're a good manager, why can't you manage good?
Can't you manage good? He's a good manager.
Why can't you manage good? It's unbelievable how, you can't fire the horses, so you fire the manager. And it's like, in 10 months, they got rid of the 3 best pitchers in baseball.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And they want to know, well, we really weren't doing well. Well, you weren't doing well because you had all the guys you spent your money on weren't hitting. Your fielding was terrible. Your bullpen sucked, and you lost the 3 best pitchers in the world. So let's get rid of the manager.
Do you think the players have any influence on that? Like they all gang up and just start complaining?
No, I
Like,
don't know. It could be.
"Eh."
Nowadays, I guess people feel more entitled to do
Yeah.
that. In the old days of baseball, can you imagine doing that with Billy Martin as the manager? He'd be in there, kick your ass in the bullpen in the clubhouse.
Or Tommy Lasorda.
Or Lou what's his name, Leo DeRocha. He'd fight
Or
with his
Sparky Anderson.
Anderson. Yeah, try that. Now he's really not kind to us. He doesn't speak well to us.
Yeah, that Tommy Lasorda Bavacqua episode.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my God. If anybody wants to watch something.
Yeah, look up the Tommy Lasorda post-game interview about
not
the it was an after-game interview, or
no, I'm talking about the one when he went out to the mound.
Oh,
who
not
was that
one.
with? That's the best one.
That was Tim. I don't remember who was on the mound, but no, like the one where he's talking about Bavacqua on the Padres.
I remember that.
Said his pitcher threw at him.
Yeah.
So look that one up. That one's funny.
Yeah, but the one when he goes out to the mound to talk to the pitcher, I forgot who that was, and the pitcher's trying to tell him he should stay in the game.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was hysterical.
They're opposite hits, there, Coach.
Yeah, and he had some choice words which you can't repeat too much. And they telling me he's the manager. Oh my God.
Yep. All right, so we got a great
some
show
good stuff today. We do.
Yeah. We got a pretty interesting topic that I think
we can go now. Panichi's in the house.
Panichi's here. We can ask him some questions.
He would know.
The realities of working in the bowling industry.
Oh my God.
I mean, you've been doing it. You've been at it. So how long now?
I officially started Labor Day 1988. But
it made you start on Labor Day?
No, I left my other job and I drove to Ohio over the weekend.
Nobody goes to Ohio anymore.
Well, you're right. But it was I actually started with the company a little bit earlier, as an advisor, staff type of guy, and then I started the track brand in Labor Day of 1988.
So you started with Star Trek, right?
Star Trek was making balls for the guy that asked me to look at him.
Yeah.
And that's when I went out there and closed the factory down. It was terrible what they were doing.
Panichi started in 78.
Wow. That's why he's not working anymore.
He did well.
Ask him, he'll tell you.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I was around when Brunswick stock hit $2, and I think everybody emptied their 401ks into that.
Right? Oh my God, I remember that. So 1978.
Now it's trading probably $70-$80.
Yeah.
Probably peaked over 100. That's right. But yeah, I've been in the industry now officially, I guess. I started in pro shop business.
Yeah.
2002 is when I got my start in there.
And you just had a birthday. How old are you now?
I'm 43. Thank you very much.
43.
43.
Wow, it's a rough 43.
It's not rough. I ate so many preservatives in my life. I look young.
So I'm actually 36 years in September, right? Yeah. I started in 88. Yeah.
88 was a good year.
It's a good year. Dodgers won the World Series in 88.
They did.
Yeah, I know.
They sure did.
That's right.
Yeah. So you started advising for a company, so you never really got into the pro shop business at all, eh?
No, I did some drilling for people. A buddy of mine had a pro shop, Don Hicks, had a pro shop at Maywood Lanes on Long Island. Mm-hmm. And, I would go there and enjoy my balls. We hung out, that type of thing. And then people started asking me if I could do some work with them. And Don said, "Hey, no problem. We sell the ball here, and you sell the ball, you sell the ball. He'll get the ball price, and I'll keep the drilling." Mm-hmm. And then I would do it by appointment only, because I had a job. I worked for Eaton Corporation. I was a senior financial analyst.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So then,
so you go with numbers, but
I like numbers. Numbers are your friend. And then I would go to the pro shop maybe 2 times a week and drill balls for people at a certain,
So you were the
which is really Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You were the financial analyst that drilled bowling balls on the side.
I was. I
Did
worked
you feel
on the.
that was more fun? So that was your dessert, and numbers were your
Yeah,
baked
but you know
potato
what?
dinner.
The job I had at Eaton was pretty cool. I was on the EA-6B, which is a jet for the Air Force Navy, and it was a active jamming system for planes.
Mhm.
Every other fighter jet, had a passive jamming system, which means the signal had to come to them and then they could jam it. You know, and the program I was in charge of, financial side of it, was an EA-6B, which is an active jamming system. This is the best part of it. There's a point to the story. It had no weapons on it.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
it went in first. It went in first and jammed the radar system for the enemy, and then the fighter jets would come in behind it.
so it was the blocker, basically.
Yeah, yeah. But think about that. I'm
Nope.
going to go to the enemy's country, and we're not going to give you any weapons. You're going to go in there with nothing.
Yeah. Well, it was probably a fast plane, right?
I don't care what it is. Think
But
about that.
I mean,
I
you
got
get the
nothing.
you
got
get the
nothing.
best defense right there. They don't know that you're there unless they can spot you in the
No, that's
sky.
true. You're right. They don't know you're there. But the guy gets in the, oh, yeah, I'll do that. Okay, I'll go in first with, what do I? No, you don't get any weapons. You go in
Mhm.
with nothing. Anyhow,
Yeah.
I was on that program, and then I left to go in the bowling industry.
A little safer.
Yeah, it was fun. That job was good because I like numbers. I still do.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but it's interesting because you transition from, working at a corporation like Eaton, and then suddenly you're running a bowling ball company.
Would you
Yeah.
say that the corporate structure that is
Mhm.
normal in the U.S. or around the world, really, the strict, obviously in a financial analyst
Yeah.
position, a little bit different than say the bowling industry where it might be a little more lax?
Here's the problem that you
Hmm.
bring. I'm glad you brought that up. The problem is if you go in there and treat it that way, I don't think you can be as successful. You have to treat it as a business first, irrelevant to what you're selling.
Okay.
Like we sell bowling balls. So the part of it is we love the sport, and now we're doing it for a living, but we're not bowling. We still bowl, but
We're still, yeah, we're still bowling.
we're not
Sure.
bowlers.
We're
I
not
use the term we're not
bowlers.
bowlers. All right. So I go to work every day to run a company to make a profit. I could take my model and apply it to anything. The model would work. I wouldn't. It wouldn't work for me because I don't know that industry. But they use widgets as an example. I always do that. If I was selling widgets, I can apply my model to the widgets and be profitable
Hmm.
if I
So
knew
what?
more about that industry.
So at what point did you make the realization that because you were an active bowler in the '80s, you
Yeah, I
bowled a
did
lot
very
of
well.
amateur,
Yeah,
yeah,
high rollers. I mean, I
yeah, you
loved it.
bowled for a lot of money,
A lot of
a lot
money,
of
right?
action. So
Absolutely,
when
absolutely.
so when you took the job or your first big role at track, when you started track,
Yeah, yeah.
how did that all change? What changed?
Well, I was still weaning myself off of bowling, um, with track, and the beauty was that the fact that I was a decent bowler, I could have people learn about my brand.
Hmm.
But at some point, you have to realize my influence as a bowler is not going to be as great as my influence as a businessman. The marketing side of the brand, the product, So I mean, it wasn't sure. I moved in '88 to Ohio, and by '90, I started to realize, you know what, you don't need to be throwing this ball anymore. You could still bowl,
Yeah,
tournament here and there, you know. Uh,
league.
League, I still bowled a high roller or two and still did well, but I would have to get into the mindset I'm going to go practice for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and try to get ready for it, as opposed to I'm in game form every
All the
week,
time. Yeah,
all the
sure.
time, right? And then that became a burden,
Right,
because at
because it
what
takes
point?
time and work. Yeah.
Absolutely, and then I realized if I made a whole lot more money for more years doing it this way than trying to do it with a bowling ball. And I think people that come into the industry fall into that trap, that they work for a bowling ball company and still want to be bowlers. If you were that good as a bowler, why are you working for a bowling ball company?
Sure.
Why aren't you just bowling?
I think it's hard to let go sometimes because, you're competitive in nature.
Sure you are. I'm competitive too, but you know where I'm competitive? In the brand.
On the bottom line.
On the bottom line. I'm going to beat the next company to profit.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I mean, when I was sales rep for Brunswick in the West, I still bowled regionals as I traveled.
Right.
Worked a week and then bowled a regional.
Yep.
So I was still pretty active.
Right.
But I worked it around my schedule where, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to go in Oregon this week. I'll be in Washington next week.
Sure.
But how, so speaking of like visiting shops and all that stuff, so you were obviously, you owned track all through the 90s there.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
What was it like compared to today? Because we have a full team of sales teams. They go out on the road a lot. Yeah. They go visit shops. They do seminars. They do everything.
Right.
How was it back then?
So it was only me.
It was just, there was no team, no sales.
There was no team. When I first started, it was just me. I went to tour stops. I comped balls at the tour stops. I laid balls out for tour players on the truck. I go out there with them and lay a ball out for them. And then Columbia bought the company. And of course, at that point, I got a sales team. But here's the difference. And it's funny because you talk about how times have changed. In those days, the distributors did not want us visiting pro shops.
At all.
If you went to their territory, they did not want you to go to their customers. And if you did go, it had to be with them.
So yeah, I mean, that came up quite a bit when I was traveling. Like the distributor reps would always ask, like, "Hey, do you want to ride together and go visit shops together and or go on my run and all that?" And I never understood it. It's like, okay, well, you're there to sell them all sorts of products. I'm there to sell them Brunswick, so it's a little bit of a conflict for me. So like, I'm willing to do it, but they didn't want you to travel with, or they didn't want you to go unless it was with them before because they thought you were going to sell direct to them. And
absolutely right. Because at the time we were still selling direct at the time to some shops and distributors.
Right.
To buy them was huge. I'm sorry.
Big sporting goods were still buying direct. Like the Kmart deals and all that stuff.
Yeah. But the biggest problem was we had a big buy-in for pro shop. There were less balls manufactured. There were less manufacturers.
Right.
I mean, really,
how many distributors were there back in the 90s?
Like, there were 30.
30?
30 distributors, soft 30.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, it was easier.
So they've consolidated now, obviously.
Yeah. And one of the biggest flaws that Columbia made at the time, and boy, was I against it, we had 3,300 or 3,400 customers in the United States at the time. So
centers and shops?
Distributors and shops, right?
Okay.
And then the president of the company decided he wanted to go distributor only. And I was like, wow, that's a bad move. You got 3,400 customers. You're controlling the distributor now, right? I mean, if they didn't want to buy the product, you could still sell it to the pro shop.
Right.
You had them as customers, right? So if you weren't getting support,
of it.
Absolutely. Right. So then we go down to 30 from 3,400. And guess what? Now the distributor's telling us what's going on.
Kind of hand over the keys.
It's like, that's it. So I was on the outsides on that one. 5 good ones. I can't comment on that. I have customers, and I'm still selling balls, Jim.
Yeah. He's armchair quarterbacking right now.
Yeah, it's easy now. You're sitting at home smoking a cigar. Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if he's gone south yet for the winter.
It's true.
I think I saw a leaf turn brown over here. So
yeah, it's time to move. So that was the biggest change. Talking about change in the industry. That was one of the biggest changes is how we sell the product. And then of course. The product changed and everything, but it was, from 1988 till now. Oh my God. You talk about transitioning. But the more you enjoy the business side of it, and you have to enjoy the business side of it, the easier it is to step away from the bowling side.
Mm-hmm.
I still bowl and I'm still competitive.
That's
that's
questionable.
I'm still dumb enough.
Talk about your big cash last night.
Well, you don't have to talk. Well, I will in a second, but you don't have to. You don't have to be good to be competitive.
Oh,
you have to understand what that means. Okay, I'm the guy sitting here in the fifth frame of the game, down 70, calculating if I strike out and this guy opens once, I can catch him. Mind you, I haven't thrown a strike yet.
Yeah.
But I'm that way. In my mind, I'm calculating if I can string him now, I can catch this guy if he makes one mistake.
But also on the flip side, being overly competitive without the equivocal talent is known as
terrible.
Being a clown.
It can be expensive. Well, you don't have to show it. I mean, I'm not the guy slamming stuff and running out shots, but I'm sitting there figuring out how can I win.
Yeah.
So I'm still competitive at that point, but the game wise now it's deteriorated. I mean, obviously I'm getting older. My knees bother me. But I still want to bowl well and enjoy myself competitively. Mm-hmm. But my passion now is making money for company money. I mean, making profit, bottom line, and my competitiveness, what drives me every day is beating the competition. That's something.
And talking to me on a daily basis.
And talking to you on a daily basis. I mean, that's so enlightening.
Like I said, it's just kind of like the equivalent of, you working as a financial analyst. That's, your meat and potatoes, But then you get to have dessert and you come to the bowling industry.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's equivalent to talking to me every day. It's like, well,
yeah, it's true.
Everything's boring. I'm aggravated. Let's call Nick.
That's right. Exactly. So I could be more aggravated.
Some days, yeah.
Oh my God.
You never know who you're going to get on the other end.
No, I'll tell you what.
It's like, hey, why are you in a bad mood? The Dr. Pepper machine's down. That's why, okay? There's no ice in the building.
No ice in the building. What's upsetting you today, Nick? Oh man, I can't believe it. It's looking like it's going to rain, and the Dr. Pepper's not right.
Yeah. Terrible. So, what do you want, Phil? Exactly. What can I do for you today?
What can I do for you today? Then I have to remind Nick that we work for a company and we have to be profitable. And that's our job, Nick. Yeah. This is your job. Yeah. And that, that's the big thing. I say it again. It's a job.
It is a job.
You have to like your job. Got it. But I know you do. But the people that come into the industry that were bowlers and want to stay bowlers, it's tough. You have to realize that's not why you're here.
Right.
I mean, it's the same way when we go to do demo days. At some of the seminars, we do demo days. Pro shop guys come in, and again, I have to behave when I say things to them. But they're looking at the ball go down the lane and asking me, how should I drill that for them? How should they drill the ball for them? And I'm like, why? Mm-hmm. I could strike more. I can cash in a regional. And I'm like, wait a second. Mm-hmm. The reason you're here is you're a pro shop guy. I don't care how you bowl. I don't care at all.
Well, that's just the whole mindset. People are going to buy what I throw. How should I do
baloney. Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah. And okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, now that we just touched on that, is your favorite topic of all time, how to get on staff. What was your staffing situation like in the 90s versus now? And then top that off with how many comps and freebies that go out the door.
Yeah. So, we had pro staff only. Yeah, when I first started track, we had Ted Hannes on staff. And then we got a few more guys. We got Steve Wunderlich came on staff. And then eventually my buddy Wayne Webb was on staff for a while. But it was small. And then when in the 90s, the later 90s, I figured out a way to win every week on tour. That sounds like a bold statement, but think about that. The fall of, I think it was 95 or something. I don't remember the date, so I'm sure the internet podcast police figure it out. But we won almost every stop on the fall tour with the Heat. And that was a great ball. Ball was great. But understand that I put a staff together that every bowler was different on that staff. So that matter what the pattern was, how it was playing, I had a chance for somebody to be competitive. And that's what happened. But our staff was very small. And I tell you what's interesting,
You never went after any. You never went after any big name marquee players. You never tried.
Well, I had Amuletto. We had.
Oh yeah, I mean
Steve Hoskins.
That was
no, but I never went after like the guy. Because do I want to spend all my money on one guy, or I want to have 9 guys that have different styles and are going to be in the hunt every week?
Yeah, I mean, did you ever have a conversation with Walter, like after he was looking to leave Ebonite?
No, we had Walter on not on track, but he was on my Dynathane staff.
Okay, but that was much later, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No,
but I mean, like in that 90s range, that 93, 94, that was never a conversation.
No, because again, I want 7 guys that throw it different, rather than hope one guy makes shows.
He would have.
Yeah,
he made a lot of shows for Brunswick.
No, I know he did. But he's expensive.
Sure, but
and I paid the same amount. Yeah, I paid the same amount, but I had 7 or 8 guys.
You spread it out. Yeah, that's like street financial analyst type talking there.
Well, that's what it is. Exactly. But it was there were no amateur staffs then.
None. So no grassroots, nothing.
The guy I had, my first amateur staff guy that I signed was Brian Graham.
And he is who today?
He is the vice president of sales for consumer products for Brunswick.
You put him on the map.
I made him what he is today. If he's watching, he'll.
Yeah. You're welcome, BG. Go ahead, say it.
I love Brian. He's the best.
It's like the scene from Casino where you're out in the desert. You only exist out here because of me.
No. Yeah, we went overseas together. He was working for Turbo at the time, and we went to Asia together. And he and I bowled action in Asia against Taiwanese locals? Guys. And yeah, we went around from center to center, and we bowling pot games at night. And
were they doing the helicopter ball back then too?
Oh my God, yeah, it was unbelievable.
I was thinking about doing a video with that. I'd like actually trying to throw it, getting an 11.5 pound ball and trying.
It's not hard to throw. You got to practice a little.
I think it's hard to do it well, right?
Oh yeah, you can't be just good at it, but it's not hard to do. I mean, you got to get your thumb going in that direction. Right, it's a lot like you throw it now. I mean, it's just a slight tweak. But Brian was the first amateur staffer. We didn't have any. Mm-hmm. And
so what was that decision like? I mean, he worked at Turbo, but
he was a Team USA bowler. I mean, he was Team USA, a great bowler, and he was the right guy because he promoted the product. I mean, people watched Brian bowl and they knew he was Team USA and they knew good things about him. So he helped the company grow. But it was unheard of.
So when do you think that all changed? When did the mindset change to be switching from only pro staff and only the guys you see on TV to now thousands of regional staffers?
Well, you got, Storm came on the scene, I guess, in 91 or 92. Mm-hmm. And I guess they comped a lot of balls out in California to get the balls out in people's hands.
Okay.
And they didn't have a lot of success in the beginning. But they had a lot of word of mouth, which was good. It was a smart marketing move for them. The biggest mistake companies make nowadays is they try to emulate that profile already the way they are established. You can't add that to what you're doing now. You can't have both. You can't be a startup company now, comp a lot of balls, and then try to compete on the PBA tour. Financially, it won't work, right?
Yeah.
So their mindset was that, and then they started to add more and more people to their staff and comping thousands and thousands of balls. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So of course it made people want to react to that, right? And I avoided that for the longest time. I still do. I give away the least balls on the planet. I mean, that's not my business model.
I mean, technically that's true, but you just have other people put in the giveaways for you, so it's not under your name.
That's true. It's not under my name. No, but we don't give as many away as the other companies do because of that. Yeah. I start in the bottom right-hand corner of the balance sheet or the financial sheet, income statement, and work my way back up.
Mm-hmm.
because I have to run a business. It's a business. It's not a game. It's not a sport. It's a business. Now, what that business does is a game and a sport, but what I do is not a game or a sport.
It's not personal. It's just business.
It's just business.
You got to go to the mattresses.
That's right. So that's what happens when people leave the industry as a bowler, and they get involved in the when they leave their game, the bowling game, and become an industry person.
Mm-hmm.
Is a transition. Oh my God! I get free balls. I get to drill balls every day.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I was asked to be on staff for the first time, my first question is, "What's that? What does that mean?"
Yeah. And then how many balls do I get?
No, not even that. My second question was like, okay, Robert explained it to me, like, okay, well, we're gonna get you one of every release, whatever it was at the time.
Right.
And then you wear the shirts and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, well, can I still throw my Columbia Stingray urethane ball?
About no.
And he's like, oh no, you can't throw that. And I was like, oh, well, like, that kind of sucks. I'm like, I throw that ball a lot.
Right. And that's what's interesting about it now. When you still look at guys, they have favorite balls, but we want staffers to throw the new stuff so people could see it. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, throw it and show it. But if you're not bowling good with it, it doesn't help anybody.
Sure.
I mean,
you gotta be approachable too. That's the thing. I mean, for the most part, our guys are good.
Yeah,
and girls and ladies.
You have to be able to tell somebody that. I mean, here's interesting. I own a company and I throw intels.
Yeah. Good job.
So people say to me, why do you throw intel? Well, I'm a low speed, low rev player or whatever, I'm more rev dominant than speed dominant. I need something to lower. Yeah. I have to get a low differential balls. I can't use stronger cover stock, but I don't build balls for me. And I tell them that I don't build balls for me. I build balls for the general public, the average guy who needs that type of ball motion. I finally drove the hitter and a deadly rattler, and I threw the hitter a couple of times. I like it a lot. I can throw it, but I had to go to the video. I love one. I had to go to the video for that one and paying attention to the Throwbot video of the initial guys, the lower speed, lower rev players, and I drove mine pinned down, and it works fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Because it flares a little less and maintains its axis rotation longer, gets you down the lane longer,
and it goes through the pins.
Yeah, because not out of energy.
So, you have to be able to look at it that way, but you have to put the pride aside and say, listen, I'm a businessman now. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have Hall of Fame. I got this. I got that. That's nice. I had that. Now I want to be noted as the Hall of Fame business guy.
They give is that award given?
Yeah, to me, every time I go look in the bank account.
I mean, you've been, not to toot your own horn here, by the way, but you've been the employee of the month for Radical for.
I got the parking spot. I got the employee of the month parking spot in front of the office here today. Again,
at least 120, 130 months running. Like you've
unbelievable,
unprecedented.
Unprecedented. I'm the winningest
radical guy
in the history of Radical.
In the history of Radical,
right? So,
that should be something to be proud of. I'm gonna actually put that on a plaque for you.
I need the plaque like that. But that's the funny part. People don't look at it that way. And you went through that. I mean, you went from bowler, pro shop guy, bowler, sales rep, and now you're.
I probably did more bowling while I was pro shop guy. I probably did the most bowling.
I did.
Bowled 4 nights a week I had 2 nights at my local center, 2 nights elsewhere.
Right.
And then I bowled pretty much every regional from I don't know what years, 06 to 2008, probably 9.
Right.
And then I just stopped bowling. When I came to Michigan, I pretty much stopped bowling altogether. Once I got that,
you accepted that, right? And you said, I'll bowl a little bit when I want to, and I don't have to be the bowler.
Yeah, I pretty much just I bowled 1 regional in 3 years, and then eventually dropped my card because I'm like, I don't need to have this anymore.
I look at bottom right hand corner of the income statement. What do you look at for your success?
I just wanted to hang out with my dogs more. That's why I gave up bowling.
You're an idiot. I swear to God, I'm getting new friends. I'm telling you, I am. Starting today.
No, I mean it
Starting
it
today. New
changes
friends.
things.
Put it in the comments. I'm getting new friends. So
I don't know where you're gonna find new friends at your age.
you're probably right. So I mean, do you look? I tell you what. If I were in your position doing my job, I would be looking at views,
Yeah,
subscribers. I mean, that'd be a
absolutely.
measuring stick, right?
Yeah, that's my measuring stick. The content that we put out and the results that
Right.
we get from it. And then
So you
innovating
get
new ideas.
satisfaction, right? You get satisfaction from that, right?
Yeah, you put out good content, and people are into it, and obviously it's consistency. I've been
Yeah.
doing the social media for Brunswick since 2015,
I
so
thought you'd
8
be.
years straight.
Wow, 8 years. I thought you'd be better at it by now. It's
I
8
mean, I
years.
pretty much peaked. I'm at the ever long plateau. No,
But I'm saying, I'm excited for you when I ask you questions like how many views we have on that, how many subscribers we have, and I get those numbers, and I go tell Brian how many we had simply
yeah,
because we got the exposure, and that's what makes you go day to day. It's things like that. So I would assume
and our
you got to
daily
have
call we have it about 11:30, 12 o'clock.
exactly.
Yeah, for a while there, I thought you were trying to time it to my lunch, like when I was taking my first
No,
bite,
no,
like you had some
no.
spies or
I
something like
had
that.
the drones.
You had
That's
a
why I had
drone.
the hat on before. I had the freaking
Oh
drones going
wow,
by, and they were
like your
stealing my
Magneto thing.
brain waves on the new balls I'm working on. So,
Oh yeah, but
you know,
no, like the analytics are everything to me. I mean, that's
yeah,
like kind of like your bottom line for sales.
that's exactly right. Right,
You
that's
know,
perfect. Yeah,
so
it's
yeah,
not
that's
whether I'm going to throw a 4-bagger tonight in league and win a bracket or something like that. Or,
yeah.
so let me tell my story about last night. We asked about it. I'm sorry, and we didn't. Right.
Yeah, talk about how much money you won last night.
So anyway, so I drilled a hitter, pin down,
Mhm.
just like the thing I invented in the Trobot video. Um, and I walked in every week. They hook so much. I'm trying to play them really deep, keeping in the oil the whole way. And I mean, I'm terrible. I am throwing it everywhere, and I can't figure it out. And so I get to the 10th frame, and I finally get in the right spot, and I throw a double. I take that back. I struck in the 9th, threw a double in the 10th.
Mhm.
And then I said, you know what? The match is out. The game is out. I'm going to try something with this ball again. And I get a 7 count for 163. So I have a
Big
triple
shooter.
for 163, right? It's terrible.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we're sitting at the table. And but I felt good the last couple of shots. I said, I got a good chance here. So we have what the mystery score. They have that. They just started it a couple of weeks ago. $5 you get in. It's 2 games. And I'm sitting there, and they said the mystery score for game 1 is 6. And I looked over at Victor, the guy on my team. I said 3, and they said 3. So I hit the mystery score for $215.
You just made more money than most guys make all year on the PBA tour.
I made more money than anybody made in the bowling alley last night. Maybe the guy that won the second mystery score might have made more. But
Did you buy a round? Did you buy a round?
No, I gave the girl $20 that runs it, and
All right,
and I spread the money out on the table to show the guys how 163 can win $200. And then I bowled okay after that. I threw the ball pretty good. I still had some trouble figuring it out, but the key thing was, it was interesting about the hitter, and we'll talk about that too. I only shot like 2 7-pins the whole night.
Okay, and with hitting the pocket quite a bit, I'm assuming.
I hit the pocket a lot, and only shot a couple of 7-pins. The hitter tripped out the 7. I got the most trip 7s, tap 7s that I've ever had in this bowling alley in quite a while.
So the ball had a lot more energy kicking.
And I'm telling you, the ball goes through the pins. It's unbelievable. I was shocked. Because I don't ever buy into asymmetrical balls for me, because I don't have.
You never drill them.
I never drill them.
Well, I mean, you drill them, but you don't get them to use.
No, I drill them and go throw them. Yeah, it's the same thing for me. It doesn't work. But this one, for some reason, it's just unbelievable how it went through the pins.
Now, what do you think? What do you think makes that ball special, especially like for you, low rev, low speed? Is it the core? Is it a matter of the cover?
I think it's a cover. I think it's a little bit of both. And I want to talk a little bit about the ball. We
I'm
we
gonna bring
use
it up
that
on
motion.
screen.
Yeah, we use that the core motion program that Steve Freshour wrote. And we tried it the first time on the outer limits. And I'm not going to go drilling outer limits the same way to see if the ball is good for me. I'm happy with what I got, but we tried this program on the outer limits. It was, and the ball's still selling great. And then we said to Steve, let's try to make some changes to it. Let's modify it a little bit. I want a little different motion. I want it to be a little more continuous, that type of thing. And Steve plugged it in and came up with this core design. And it's not a matter of the design. It's the matter of how that ball is after drilling.
Sure.
That's the key. No other company does that. I mean, we do the after drilling, and that's what this curve, this analysis that he does, depicts how the ball is after drilling.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what you're going to get out of it, and you know where it's going to be. And I drilled it. I drilled one pin up, and I didn't like it that much. I threw it a little bit. It was just too over and under for me, and I said, well, I'm not going to give up on it. I'm going to go drill one like the guy in the video. And I did. And I'm telling you, I'm shocked that there were times I thought it was going to be a flat 7 and the pin popped up out of the gutter and tapped it out.
Yeah.
And it happened 5, maybe 4 or 5, 6 times during the night.
Yeah. It's very rare. It's very rare you get an ASIM ball that's good for not only, so bowling balls are going to look good for the high rev, high speed players in most cases.
Right.
The ball's going to look fantastic, but getting down into the low rev, low speed to keep it on its axis longer, to be able to get it through the pins better. Yeah. That's rare to find in a bowling ball.
Yeah. And I'll tell people that are watching, the guys that are listening, that ball is great. Matter of fact, I saw Ryan Schaefer did a post yesterday about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he had all sorts of great things and accolades to say. And Ryan's on track staff, right? I believe.
Yeah, he's on track.
On track staff, so he gets to throw the stuff, and they don't get every ball. You have to ask for it or get it. I don't know how they get them. But he posted about how he had never seen a ball in a long time go through the pins that way. And I'm sure that Steve Freshour's program, is the reason that we're able to do this. I mean, think about it. We did it with the outer limits. It's so great. We asked him to make some changes to what the ball performance of the outer limits was, and he hit it first shot with this program.
Now, do you think we'll have Steve on the show at some point?
I sent Steve an email yesterday and asked him again, and he said, yeah, he probably would like to do it. The problem is he's a teacher.
Getting a Wednesday off.
Well, it's not even a matter of off. I think he can get it done. He can do it from school. He didn't know what profile we used, and I told him StreamYard. I don't know if that meant anything to him. I guess I don't know.
No, he would just need a webcam and mic and
send him another email and tell him that. Yeah. And I said it doesn't have to be exactly 3:00. He can come on the second half of the show or whatever, just to get him on. But I want to get him on so you guys can meet Steve. He's been designing balls for us since the beginning. Radical.
He worked tight with Mo too.
He did. He worked tight with Mo, and now the guys come up with this innovative program. It's just unbelievable how we can do this. And I'm telling you, when you watch the video, the throwback video, and you could say whatever you want. Oh, you only showed the good shots, but you're the one who was doing the test. You called me up and said how impressive that was.
There weren't any bad shots. It's like there's an adjustment part where, going from the low rev to the medium rev, there's always some times where I have to mess around with throwbot to get them lined up because, you change the speed, change the rev rate. Might take a shot or two to get relined up.
Right.
Because it's not a rocket. It's not, an exact science. It's, it's a gigantic 2-ton machine or however big he is.
Sure.
But hitting the pocket and going through the pins, what you saw that was it. When I get,
I'm telling you, it's unbelievable.
When I get the 4 shots I need, I'm done.
Yeah. I threw it last night and I was absolutely amazed that, I had bad shots because I'm still not sharp enough. And I didn't have any confidence in the ball. I didn't know. I never threw it. And it took me a while. But once every time I hit the pocket, I struck twice. I did not strike on pocket hits, the whole night because I made bad shots in between. Don't get me wrong. Those are physical bad shots. But when I threw it decent and hit the pocket, it struck. And
I advise you to do that more often.
Well, I heard that improves your score.
You should put this business thing aside for a few weeks and then practice on your game so you can strike more.
It's not happening.
Why don't we do a top 5 and then we can transition into taking some questions?
Yeah, and talk a little bit more about. We haven't talked at all much about your career.
That's okay. I'm still living it, so it's not quite a novel. It's more of a pamphlet.
It's an excerpt. Let's do top 5.
It's graffiti on the wall.
Oh boy.
All right, there we go. Top 5 reasons to buy a new bowling ball.
We got some beauties, and there's more, so we'll elaborate on some of them. But go ahead.
Yeah, so we'll get in the Q&A after this. But this is the top 5 reasons to buy a new bowling ball.
And again, put some in the comments if you have better ones.
Yeah. So number 5, and I got the numbers right this time because I'm also good with numbers.
Yeah, number 1 through 5. You can only get it wrong 25 times, but you got it.
And if there's any spelling errors, it's because I copied and pasted Phil's homework.
Oh my God. Yeah, I bet you did. Go ahead.
Number 5. Your current ball is over 5 years old and not striking anymore.
How many times have you had the guy, and every league has the guy, I've been throwing this ball for 10 years. I don't need this new stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And then the guy shooting 1,000 10 pins a night. They must be screwing around with the lanes.
Oh, geez. I see some people have their bowling, like older bowling balls, and they bowl league or they bowl like in a city tournament or something like that. And you see them and they got like a ball from the early 2000s.
Right.
And you can tell that the original grips are still in that ball.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like they've hardened and shrunk, or they're so worn out.
Yeah.
They're discolored. They're not even like neon anymore.
Right.
It's just like, ooh, those are hard as a rock.
Yeah. But although the guy's throwing urethane, it made a comeback, unless you're bowling on a PBA tour.
Well, that would be the only exception, right?
That's the only exception, because you know what?
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. All right, number 4, top 5 reasons to buy a new ball.
Uh-huh.
All your buddies bought new balls and are striking.
Yeah, and you sit there and go, he's not better than me. It must be the ball. If he's striking, anybody can strike with that ball. And then they buy a new ball.
Man.
And that's a good reason, though.
That's
a good reason for me. As a company guy, that's a good reason for me.
There you go. That's who you need to be seeding bowling balls out to.
Yeah, that guy. Or his buddies.
The buddies guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 3, top 5 reasons to buy a new ball.
All right.
Just doesn't go where it used to.
My buddy Jeff's shop, we get on there and a customer come in with a ball and say, can you clean this ball for me? And you put it in the rejuvenator. Mm-hmm. And there's enough oil in there to do an oil change on your car. It's coming out.
I once had a ball in the reviver oven for a customer. He had like an original danger zone.
Right.
And this is back in like 2005, 6. So he'd had it for a decade probably.
Yeah. Soft.
That thing was in the reviver oven for over 8 hours getting oil out.
I'm telling you. Yeah. And then he takes the ball out and it's gleaming because of the oil coming out of the ball. And the guy the guy goes, well, I don't understand. I clean it after I bowl every time. It's like,
exactly.
Right.
Too late.
Yeah, exactly. And that ball goes wherever it wants because number 1, it's probably oil saturated, and number 2 is you probably need a lesson too. But
All right, number 2 of the top 5 reasons to buy a new bowling ball. Yeah. You read something on the internet.
Those are the best guys. They read it on the internet. They don't understand it.
Or they watch a YouTube video.
Or they watch a YouTube video, but they don't understand it. And they'll come in and ask about what they read and tell you what it is that they need and why they need it.
That'll be $249.99, sir.
And you say, you are correct. Thank you. $249.99. Thank you.
Let me measure your hand. Let's go.
No. The grip is good. My grip is good. When was the last time you changed your grip? I had this grip since I'm 17 years old. How old are you, sir? 65.
Just drill like my friend. Just drill like a house ball.
Yeah,
my favorite.
Yeah. I threw my friend's ball and it feels perfect. Yeah, drill like a house ball. Yeah. And the number one reason
To
to
buy
buy
a
a
new bowling
new
ball.
ball, I just want one. You know, how many times a week, sometimes a day, I get that.
Happens in golf too. I got to think. Why'd you buy a new driver? I don't know. I just wanted one.
That's one. So the guy, it's the best ball I ever had. I'm averaging 230. Highest I've ever averaged in my life. What else you got coming out? What's wrong with that ball? Well, yeah, I just want to get something new.
Here we go. I'm gonna go through some of the ones that people posted in here because there were some
All right.
funny ones I was laughing at. Wing Racer got that one right because I want to. There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
Number 5, celebrate my promotion. Rob Johnson, because my significant other's out of town. Because it's a Mo Heritage Series ball.
There you go. Right.
Looking for another fight with the wife.
I like that one.
New balls strike better. Wife said yes.
That's it.
Because I watched a ball review video.
Some of the good ones. We had them.
It's pretty.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
Because the ball is there.
So
I'm the man of the house, and she said I could.
I could.
That started out so strong, Dave. By the way, we're playing a tournament this weekend or Saturday. Sorry, Saturday.
Dave. Is that my buddy Dave from Pincrest?
Dave Porter. I don't think you met Dave.
Oh no,
Porter.
that's different Dave, right?
Yeah, you're thinking of on your other team. On your team, you bowled, right?
Yeah, the team I bowled. Yeah.
No.
Who's the guy with the spare ball that I signed?
That was Gary.
Guess what?
got a visitor.
You got the air conditioning. Go ahead.
He wants to be on the show again.
He does.
He's gonna move your camera, Phil. Watch out.
No. Who's the guy with the spare ball? I forget his name.
That's Gary.
Yeah, Gary, not Dave. Gary. That's my buddy Gary. Go ahead. You got some more? Or are we gonna? I tell my Joe Vito story last night.
Tell it.
So Joe Vito, I've been with Joe forever, 30 years at least. And Joe, every once in a while, Joe needs a new ball. He's been throwing the Trailblazer solid and killing him with it. But the last couple of weeks the lane pattern's a little different, and he's been struggling a bit. So I said, let me get you another ball. And notoriously, Joe shoots. It's like a joke with us. He'll shoot a 300 with the new ball, but Joe shoots a lot of 300. He's a great bowler.
He's been on the page quite a bit.
Absolutely. So last night he comes out of the pro shop with the ball and puts it on the table. It's the Katana Strike. I knew that was going to be a good ball for him because he was a big fan of the Zing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's similar, and it's he had the Zing hybrid, and this is a hybrid. So he puts the ball on the table. I said, do you want to take the picture now, or do you want to wait until after you bowl? And he says to me, "What are you out of your mind?" I'm telling you, you want to take the picture now, you don't wait till after you bowl. Well, wait. First game 300.
I told you.
I said, I told you. He goes, it's like Babe Ruth calling the home run shot in the World Series.
I'm just glad you didn't Eddie Mush him.
No, you know what? That's true. Yeah, but it's so funny with Joe. I bring him a ball.
He's just automatic.
I'm telling you, he goes to me, what are you bringing me next week? I said, I can't afford to have you shoot 300 every week. You put the company out of business.
All right, ready for some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here's a good one. We're going to start from the top. Dave wants to know, what's the smartest and dumbest decision you've made while working in the bowling industry? Hindsight 2020, of course. I got my answers already. I don't know.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
I never think of them being dumbest because I made them. I made those decisions based at the time what I thought was a good decision.
And you wouldn't have got to where you are today.
No, that's true. The smartest decision I've made ever, I think, now that I think back a little bit, was probably licensing the brand to Brunswick.
Okay.
Because it's a great partnership. Mm-hmm. It made my life easier because I didn't have to worry about production. I didn't have to worry about a sales team. All I had to do was do the fill thing. So to me that was to me that was probably the smartest thing I've ever done. Probably one of the dumbest things that I've ever done was, I got into a legal issue with a company in Korea one time. They were doing some illegal stuff, and I didn't consult attorneys on it before I made my decision on what I was going to do. So that put me in a little bit of a legal bind, but we got out of it okay. It was just,
At the
but I
time,
should have, yeah, I was just like, you guys are doing something illegal. I'm not going to do it anymore. And just because you say it's illegal doesn't mean that everybody's going to say it's illegal. So that was probably a dumb move. I should have went to an attorney first and said, hey,
help me out.
Help me out. Right.
Need your expertise.
Exactly.
Your IT expertise.
Yes.
That's how I go to. I go to Phil when I need IT help.
Yeah, I bet you do, right?
Yeah.
I'm an expert. So
So my dumbest decision, I think, in the bowling industry was when I had my pro shop. I bought my first pro shop in 2008. It was the one I worked at for the entire time. And I was working in the shop for the guy for 5 years or whatever, and bought the shop in July of 2008. That was July 1st, 2008 was my first official day as proprietor of that. Well, the biggest mistake that I did was I actually purchased another shop 2 months later that was about 20, 30 minutes away. Actually, it was Bugsy's, my boss's now.
Yeah.
At his shop, he was selling at a center that I really liked. Matador was always a cool bowling center, and it was in a busy area in the valley. And he was moving to go work for USBC, I believe. So he was moving out of state and selling his pro shop. So I said, why not? I'm going to buy that one too.
Yeah.
So with that came employees. It came, having all the stuff that comes in with now having employees and having to pay insurance and having to pay all this other stuff.
Sure.
And at the end of the day, it just became a place just to pay someone's salary. It wasn't profitable. So
Right.
Had I just stuck with the one,
Yeah.
I think it would have been much better. But same thing, I'm here today because I had two shops and I,
Right.
got the attention of the people that needed to get attention of. But
Sure.
And the smartest is actually one that a lot of people don't know about is around that same time, just before I bought my pro shop in 2008, I was approached by a competitor to quit. I was on staff at the time with Brunswick, and I was approached to jump ship, basically quit, staff and come to work for this competitor as the West Coast sales rep, whatever.
Right.
And I turned him down. I said, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
So looking back, absolutely the smartest thing I ever did.
So you worked in the pro shop that you bought.
Right.
So the dumbest thing you ever did was buying that pro shop and keeping yourself on as an employee.
Well, no. Right. I would never hire myself. I actually went to work for the shop, the new shop. I didn't work at the original because the guy I hired.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, because that one was already established. So that was probably one of the bigger mistakes was because the guy I hired lived much further away from the one in the valley. So he was a shorter drive to that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my best and worst decisions. So here we go. Connor wants to know, I'm going to the innovative pro shop class in 3 weeks. Anything you suggest? The things I should take or know when I go? I think they supply everything you need.
They do. Isn't that a turnkey type situation? You walk in and you just learn.
So they're going to give you all the information. Yeah. They're going to give you all the materials you're going to need and hands-on experience to do it. It's obviously a long class. I believe it's a few days at least.
It is.
Right?
It is. And go in there with the attitude that you don't know anything and you're going to learn it.
Exactly.
The worst thing to do is go in there with preconceived notions that you are right, because then you're going to sort of deviate from what they're trying to teach you, their philosophy.
Well, this is how I do it. It's like, well, then why are you here?
Well, why are you here? If you're going to do that, send me the money and I'll tell you you're right.
Send me half of what you're going to pay me. Just don't show up.
That's right.
My guy Dave. He says, I don't want to get on staff. I just want free balls once a month.
Exactly. Yeah, we have that
That's a
too. It's called
sweetheart,
no.
a sweetheart deal.
Yeah.
Panici's gone now, but he said, really, does TV sell bowling balls? We actually talked about that on a previous show.
Yeah. No. It does not sell bowling balls per se. It's not the guy threw it on whatever day the show's on, tape delayed, Fox Sports 7 or whatever, the Ocho, and then they run to the window the next day to buy them. You know, no, it does not.
Chris Rock, not that one, but this is Christopher Rock.
It's the other Chris Rock.
I'm thankful to be one of the rare guys who win a ball from you guys and still roll radical to this day. Innovator is money on the transition. I remember
That's
a
good ball. Name. I do. We laughed about Chris Rock.
Yeah. People thought it was a fake name, but here we are.
That ball is great for a lot of reasons. Interestingly enough, we learned from that ball when we built the hitter with the intermediate diff being fairly low, that we can make different cover stock options with the lower intermediate diff because the ball is not overpowered by the intermediate diff and lengthening the hook window. So
Good answer.
Good answer.
Joe says, in this business, you have to know how to say no a lot. Phil's great at it.
I am.
Press the button.
Where's that button?
No.
Not that no.
N-O, no.
There's a lot of ways to say no. So no a lot and a lot of ways to say no. And you got to be nice sometimes, but you can't be insulting. I can't say I don't ever insult, but
you're not intentionally insulting.
Not intentionally, but it's just people think that the ball's free.
Mm-hmm.
If I give you a ball, I'm paying for that ball to go to you.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? What do I get out of it? Did you sell enough balls for me to justify that ball being given away?
No.
Again, I start lower right hand.
No means no.
I start in the lower right hand corner of the income statement and work my way up. Where does that expense equate to the top number growing enough to
Where would you say my my balance sheet's sitting right about now? Enough said.
So.
Big easy. I just got out of bowling for 20 years. Yes. Wait. I got out of bowling for 20 yesterday. And I saw Radical 3 years ago, video 3 years ago. And it brought me back. Bonus Pearl to be exact.
Yeah, that was another good ball. The Bonus Pearl was a second generation of the Intel. Again, the lower differential. The Rattler and the Rattler, Deadly Rattler are next step balls from that. The Rattler used the sharp cover stock that we used on the Incognitos, and the Deadly Rattler, which is brand new, coming out October 18th, available 19th. Podcast police. The 19th.
No, that's just the podcast telling you.
The podcast telling me. The 19th. And that ball has HK22 on it, so it's cleaner and flippier. So again, but they all have that same total diff of 35.
It's a good number.
It's a good number, 35. By the way, what episode today? Today is the 27th episode. That number rings a bell for me. Let me think. You
want to know what the difference between our podcast and the Yankees?
We're still playing?
No. The podcast is going to get to 28 this October.
No, I think we're going to name the rest of them 27. We're going to stay on 27 until
27A, 27B.
The Yankees win the World Series. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be perfect for you. A podcast that's stuck on the number 27.
27 until the Yankees win the World Series.
Man. Don wants to know, is that Steve's program proprietary to Radical only?
Absolutely it is. Right now it is. I mean, we hadn't shared it with the other brands yet. I mean, it'll be available just like they gave me HK22 and all of their technology. But once we perfect it a couple of more times, and I mean, I think it's there already. Yeah, we probably will share it.
For a fee, because you're all about the bottom right line.
Bottom right-hand corner.
Mm-hmm.
You
know. Nick, are the pin down layouts good for strokers? Because mine are pinups and lefty. So if you're talking about asymmetrical balls, yes, it can be. I mean, granted, if you are high track, you may not want to get too much into the pin down layouts because you might thump over fingers or thumb.
Mm-hmm.
But it's best to talk to your pro shop about that, whether pin down layouts could be a good option for you. But I mean, being left-handed, you want to stay straighter, and Phil can tell you right now,
Absolutely.
Pin down on that hitter.
On that hitter, it's fantastic.
Yep.
I am so impressed with that. I can't wait to go bowl again. Maybe I'll start bowling and forget my business.
There you go.
Nah.
You can go on the
No.
Maybe we can kiss and make up to the PBA, and then we can start the PBA 70 for you.
I'd rather breathe gas fumes.
But you'll still lose to Johnny, so
That's true. That's true. Not a problem.
what's new?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, we just got something. I just heard about something in
Why?
my ear. Did you hear?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Guess what?
Did you hear?
I hear it. It's from the producers. This just in.
Purple Hammer is still legal.
Still legal.
Wow. Saying
Wow.
that late breaking story. That's great.
And telling you, somebody somewhere is going to realize ball's still legal.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. If you watched any of the team shows, they had a few of them going down the lanes by the winning team.
Weird.
I don't get it. Oh, I see how this works. The ball wins too much, so we're just going to find a way to ban it. I understand. I got it. Oh.
Jim from Pincrest over here has thrown down the gauntlet on you. He's waiting for the spy throwdown at the House of Pain, so you need to get out here.
I have to. I only bowl there when it's in the 20s.
All right.
This could be next week for you guys, but
it could be. I'm telling you what, like that tournament this Saturday, I golfed yesterday. It was 80 degrees. It was beautiful out.
Right. This week
it's forecasted for 50 and rain.
Beautiful.
40, probably 40 something when we tee off.
We're having a cold front. It's going to be in the low 80s coming up, and even in the 70s next week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do. I have to bring a sweatshirt to work when it's 75 degrees because I'm 25 degrees cooler.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up there, Phil?
No, I think that was all. We covered about a bunch of it. I can't impress upon you guys enough about the hitter. For me to say that about an asymmetrical ball, and it ain't because I'm trying to sell it, because I'm amazed. This program is incredible, and I think you all should go get one because it's really different.
So you're super high on that ball. The hitter's obviously going to be a spectacle when it comes out. It's going to be very popular. But got a question from Eric. Is there a ball you released that was a disappointment?
You can't go by me because I got so many balls I released. I never threw it. There's a lot of balls I've never thrown. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I meant from the bottom line perspective. You thought a ball would be great.
We had a couple of them. Yeah, we had a couple of them. Well,
because no matter what ball you say, someone's going to say that was my favorite ball.
Well, absolutely. So it depends on who you're talking to, right? I don't ever get disappointed. I look at reasons why something didn't sell, and a lot of times it's beyond our control. Sometimes maybe Storm had a ball that was really popular, or Hammer launched a ball around the same time, and we didn't get the accolades or the attention that we deserved. But there were some balls that we had. The Primo line didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. And that was not a high end ball, and it didn't really give us what we wanted. There was stuff like that happened, but it's never a disappointment. I look for the reason it didn't sell. You know, because no, the product won't go out of with my approval on it unless it hit the target we were looking to hit. You know, I mean, I'm not going to make the ball just because it's time to make a ball. You know, I don't do that. I just tested a ball from March or April today. So it's not like, you know, I got to do it. I have other balls I tested already that I could bring in its place. If that ball was no good, I wouldn't have launched it. So, you know, there was some over the years, but not because we didn't do the homework and we didn't do the due diligence. That'll never happen. You know, anytime you look at a radical ball, it's something that we put all the effort into and put our best foot forward on it. It's not something that, let me just throw out a ball because we need one. You know, and I see other companies doing that. They just balls pop out and it's like, what the hell is that? You know, and it's just their time to have a ball. So they launched it.
That got through.
Yeah, I don't do that.
That was the best choice.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen videos of competitors' balls, and it's like, how on earth did they even let that one go?
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of them were so bad that even the staff guys were commenting how bad they were on video.
Oof.
Yeah, that'll never happen with us. First of all, Throwbot never complains.
No.
So I like that. We got any more questions?
We do. Chuck says, hope you fellas are doing well. Threw some hearts at you.
Chucky?
Not at me. The hearts are for you, not for me.
I don't know about that.
And you forgot one big thing this episode.
What?
Marlon's calling you out. What's today's episode sponsor?
I got it. Brought to you by Clear Magic. This is a plant-based, plant-infused cleaner. You just add water. It's magic. And it's a foam. Do I need to do this? I don't have a napkin here. Look at that. It's a foam. I'm telling you, this works. And I never clean bowling balls. But now I'll come in from to the office and I'll bring a ball in from the car and I'll go, man, this really works. You know, clean the ball and go, how the hell was I bowling with this thing? Look at all of the junk that came out of my bowling ball. Oh, there's Dustin. He didn't see Dustin last night. He was in that league.
Oh.
No. So.
All right. We'll do one or two more questions and we'll wrap up. Ahmed wants to know, he's wondering if Radical would produce a urethane ball with HK22.
That's not a urethane. HK22 is not, by definition, a urethane. That's a resin. It's got plasticizer in it, HK22. So, and I'm not sure what we're going to do with urethane now because the Purple Hammer is still legal, as you know, and the PBA.
The Internet Podcast Police jumped in on that one. They said, oh, even the 16s and 17s? No, because those were actually blacklisted because they were known to be produced too soft. So the 6s and 7s you cannot throw in USB-C competition. Sorry, we have to reiterate that. But any of the purple hammers with the purple pins or the green pins that we produced or the ones with the serial numbers starting in 8 or 9 or higher are perfectly legal.
Wow, that's a lot of knowledge.
Thank you very much.
And they will always be legal.
All right. Jinx wants to know, will I kill a ball if I short pin layout on it? No, not always.
Depends on your game.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, short pin layouts I've seen some be more angular than a pinup layout sometimes, but they generally keep you in a zone to play straighter and control with a little bit of pop at the end. So where they have issues sometimes, unless you're a very high rev player, is playing open angles and getting it back to the pins.
And also, if you're not a high rev player, but you have a slow speed, and you have to move in.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's a tough one.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and. Is there anything else?
All right, looking quick.
Here we go.
All right.
Last question, same person. He's like, what do you think with the short pen layout on the hitter? You know, we don't typically do that for the asymmetrics. We always go pin down, pin up on our demos. But I would say if you are higher speed, then I would say yes, it would be an option. But always talk to your pro shop, you know, about where it would fit. I mean, you have an MV Tour in there, so you already have a ball that's going to be pretty controllable. So I don't think you want to do that to your hitter. You also have a Widow 2.0 in there. So, and you have a lot of bowling balls that are the same. So, you know,
Weed them
talk
out.
to yeah, weed them out. Replace something if you're replacing something. Yes, but you have a lot of high-end ASIMs there. Solids. You got the
Right.
Widow 2.0, the MV Tour, Incognito. You got a lot of balls that are same. So I think you need to diversify a little bit.
Right. So
All
I
right.
think so.
That's
What do you got?
it.
Is that it?
That's it.
It's a good show for you.
Knock it off. It's a great show. Wonderful show.
For you.
The best show we've done all month.
That's right. Today is what? The 4th.
That's right.
All right.
Well,
We'll see you next week for episode 27.
-A.
All right. Enjoy your playoffs if your team is still alive, except if you're in the Astro fan, then I hope it ends quickly.
Come on, 3 and out.
Come on, 3 and out.
Yeah.
Eddie Mush. I'm going to Eddie Mush the Astros.
I don't think that's gonna be possible because unless there's a blackout or something like that where they don't have power to their little radio
Oh, the
transmitters.
little buzzers. Yeah, the
Yeah.
buzzers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might we have a better record on the road? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, go bang a trash can.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, y'all.
All right. Hey, guys, thank you. Nick, another good job for you.
Yep.
No, that was a good job. Thank you, Nick. Topics. We'd love to hear about topics. I'll go through the comments and see what you guys that we didn't answer or didn't get to if I can. And we'll see you next week. As they used to say when I was a kid, same bat time, same bat channel.
You were a lame child.
Batman was the first color TV show for us. Are you kidding me?
Oh, my goodness. All right. Go,
All
Dodgers.